Life doesn't come with a reset button, but sometimes healing begins with a single step. And today, that step is understanding how movement, recovery, and resilience go hand in hand. And it all starts in the next 30 seconds.
Love and laughter lead the way through the darkest, hardest days. Hope still burns, it won't retire. This is me, my life rewired. I was broken, now I'm whole. Wrote new chapters for my soul. Not the end, just re-inspired. This is me, my life rewired.
Today's guest is proof that resilience can bloom in the face of adversity. Lisa Carey has lived with multiple sclerosis for the last 20 years and battled cancer along the way. But with a camera in hand and nature as her muse, she's found healing one photo at a time. From daily snapshots to a powerful portfolio, Lisa's journey reminds us that survival isn't just instinct, it's art. This episode is about struggle, beauty, and the quiet strength of living in the moment. Lisa, welcome to the program.
Well, thanks for having me, Rob. I'm glad to be here.
Well, one thing I think we should let our viewers know before we get into your book, because you are an author, and congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Starting back at the beginning, you were diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Yeah, so my history with multiple sclerosis goes back 21 years. Actually, in December, it'll be 22 years. And back then, there were not a lot of, the internet wasn't around and there wasn't a lot of resources. So you really kind of relied on your doctor. And I probably went broke buying books about MS because that was the resource. Um, yeah, so that's kind of where it all started. My doctor said, here's information about 3 different drugs that are on the marketplace at that time. Pick one. And I was kind of like, well, I'm supposed to pick one because I'm certainly not an expert in this. I just found out.
Aren't you the doctor?
Yeah, right. Aren't you the doctor? And that was the beginning sort of my journey with MS. So, and MS is a roller coaster. Um, and the one thing I think I've learned over time is that it makes life a little bit harder. Yes, very much so. But it doesn't take away from life. So I try to approach it with my glass half full, not half empty.
That's a great perspective to
Yeah,
have. Yeah.
yeah.
So, how did living with MS and battling cancer shape your perspective on your beauty and survival?
Yeah, well, I've always been interested in photography. I minored in photography in college and was sort of always envious of the people that made it a full-time career. Some of my classmates went on to work in newspapers and that sort of thing. And I was more on the advertising route and got into sales. And then I was a pharmaceutical sales rep for many years. And during my time as a pharmaceutical sales rep, was when I was diagnosed with MS, and I was just driving down the road one day and went to change the dial on the radio and completely missed the dial. And I did it like 20 times. And I was like, well, that's really weird. The sensation in my hand was gone and I couldn't like feel. And it was a really weird, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I'm having a stroke. I didn't know what to think. So, after a few days of being numb in the right hand, I ended up going to the doctor, and right away I was blessed because she was very, very quick to say, you need to see a neurologist. I suspect it's MS. And I was kind of like, whoa, whoa.
Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, totally. Didn't see that coming. And I know a lot of people with MS go years and years and years of weird symptoms and they don't know what it is and the doctors can't figure it out. So I was very glad that I was able to figure it out pretty quick. And then I ended up doing a spinal tap where they check your fluids in your brain, and there's some MS markers within that showed that I had MS. So that was kind of the beginning of it, and then yeah, way down the road, 4.5 years ago, actually. Now I'm almost to the 5-year mark. I was diagnosed with uterine cancer and had a hysterectomy. Took care of it. It's all good.
Roller coaster.
Yeah. Totally, it's a roller coaster, and MS is a roller coaster because it's relapsing, remitting. So it comes and it goes, and In the very beginning, I used to tell my doctor that MS doesn't have me. Because you're just, you're bullheaded and you've got things in life you want to do, and like this is getting in my way. I don't have time for this. Um, and so I kind of just ignored it for many, many years. And I was in the closet with my MS, didn't want to tell anybody. I told the people around me, don't tell a soul. I don't want this out. I don't want to be known as the girl with MS. I am me, and I have a job, and I have a family, and I can do this. And MS doesn't have me. But through the years, well, yeah, it's it doesn't care that I say that. It doesn't. So, I have learned through the years that you need to adapt. You need to overcome. You need to know when to slow down. You need to know, and I've had just about every single MS symptom and relapse symptom that there is, every single one of them. Including I had optic neuritis in my right eye, and that eye is pretty much blind right now from the permanent damage. So I had to really learn my photography because that was my dominant eye, and now I take photos with my left eye. That's all. Just
You speak in a photo, which you do a very great job. And I just looked at the book that Heather sent me beforehand. Amazing.
Oh, thank you. Well, I was doing a yoga class with a few MS friends here in town, and we ended up talking because I post a photo a day on Instagram, and I still do that. I started that at the beginning of COVID just as something to do, and just started taking pictures of whatever I saw, birds in the backyard, a pretty sunset. And then I discovered that there's a whole world of photographers on Instagram that post a photo a day. So I was like, oh, I can do that. I can post a photo a day. So I started posting a photo a day, and when COVID sort of ended and everybody went back to their normal lives for the most part, I was like, well, I can keep going. So it's been a fun journey. It's really something I was doing for myself, and through the time and putting it out there, I learned that a lot of people just really enjoyed it, looked forward to it. Couldn't wait for tomorrow's post, whatever I was looking at. So I kept posting. But then this yoga class, I was meeting with my friends and we were doing yoga, and we were talking about my photos, and I was like, well, I'd like to do something with them. And my yoga instructor said, hang on, I'll be right back. And I was like, okay. So she came back with a book that was also published by Inner Peace Press, and by Anessa. Oh, I can't remember her last name now.
Earhart.
Anyway, yes, thank you. And I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. This is it. This is exactly what I want to do. So I was really inspired by her book and absolutely loved it. And then I found out that the publisher, Heather, was local. And I'm like, well, that's crazy. So we met for coffee, and we met a few times. And then she was like, well, do you just want to come to my house, to my home office, and we'll meet every week? And I said, sure. So I ended up going to her home office, and we would meet every week, and we still do because I'm working on book number 2. But anyway, because once you get the book thing, you kind of, yeah, you get it. Yeah. So I started putting together my book, and I wrote a whole thing because I was inspired by another book, that I don't have with me, and I should have brought it. But it was a book of a compilation of about 20 different people with MS, and they told their story in each chapter. And I found myself dog-earing the pages, highlighting and writing notes on the side. And it got me to the point where I sat down and over a weekend wrote out chronologically everything that has happened in my life since my MS diagnosis. So Heather at Inner Peace Press took that and said, like, it's awesome. There's so much here, but we need to make this more like little vignettes for each chapter that somebody could read, and make it fun to read and not chronological, because you're going to lose people. And I'm like, okay, I got it. So she's been so helpful on that. And so I put my book together, and well, in the beginning, when I was talking to my MS friends, going back to I didn't tell anybody about my MS. My MS friends were like, "Well, you got to tell your story. It's part of your book." And I kind of was like, "Well, I can't tell my story. I'm not out there yet." So, over time in writing my story, I realized that it was important to tell it because what I was doing for myself through photography helped me, but maybe it can help other people to realize that you can still do your dream, you can still live your life. And while you have moments where um, it's all hitting the fan, you can kind of realize that it's okay. Like it's going to go away. And you may have some residual because over time it happens. Um, so that's kind of how it evolved. And I came out on Facebook. I call it my coming out. Cuz I put a post and I hit send and I went, "Oh geez.
What did I just do?
What did I just do?" And I was not looking for sympathy. I don't want sympathy. I don't want someone to say, "Oh, poor you," because it's not. It's okay. It's shaped my life. And while it's a huge inconvenience and a huge pain in the butt, it really has brought me to a place where I feel like I can help people. Um, that photography has given me purpose in that aspect. And by telling my story, I can empower other people to not get stuck and go down a drain.
The vulnerability of putting yourself out there because you don't want to be known about your disease, your injury,
Hmm.
or whatever you may have, and you don't want that pity.
Right.
I totally get that. I struggle with that so hard.
No. Yeah, and that's the one thing I've learned over the last well, since I started this. Well, I mean, the book I've been working on for well, I published it in March, and I worked on it for about a year. So up until that point, and even going back when I started posting on Instagram, and I didn't realize what I was doing because I was just starting. But I've learned over the time that everybody has something. Everybody literally has something that they struggle with. It's the human condition. So humans struggle, and be it high cholesterol, um, I mean, just things that people get, diabetes, a heart condition, maybe somebody had a stroke. Um, and then along the way, in my going back a few more years, I've had two friends of mine who have lost their spouses. One was totally out of the blue, and I it really affected me because they were good friends of ours, and her husband passed away, and it was a very traumatic, totally out of the blue. And then I have another friend who, through cancer and a 5-year struggle with cancer, lost her husband. And it's sort of interesting because I'm still here. I am still here, and it's like I am meant to be here. What's my purpose? And so as life has gone on, I've realized that I really do have a purpose to help other people and to make them realize that they don't need to wallow in self pity. It's okay to do it, but you can't stay there. And every time I have an MS symptom that pops up, there's a grieving process. It's like, oh no, oh man, am I mad? Oh, this is really sad. And then acceptance. And then by that time, you're starting to feel better. And it's just like this roller coaster of every time. So we learn to cope, and we learn to look at our glass half full, and we learn to find the good because there's good. And even though there's still bad, let's just put that there and let's go over here. So, yeah.
I get a lot of slack for people going, "Do you ever have a bad day? Do you ever just get discouraged?" Oh my gosh, if you saw me when the doors were closed and the lights are off, I mean, heck yes, I do. But I mean, I just choose the positivity because, you know, this is how I look at life. I've made it this far, and I know that,
Hmm.
that tomorrow's either going to suck,
Yeah.
it's going to be great, or it's going to be just fantastic, whatever. But I'm going to get through it. And
Oh,
if
yeah.
it's the bad day, guess what? The next day it'll be a great day. So no matter what we've been through, I've always said I've been through worse. I've survived worse. So yeah,
Yeah, and you realize after a certain time that everything you've been through, it passes. And then you realize you kind of see light at the end of the tunnel on the other side, and you're still here. So there is a purpose, there is a reason. Um, and this book has been a blessing for me, and hopefully other people can see that in themselves.
I think they will. And the reason I say that is when you put yourself out there, and even especially your book, it's not just a book about MS. There's so much healing, like you said, from people with diabetes, ALS, brain injuries, or whatever.
Yeah.
We can all relate to those photographs. And I feel like there's healing in those distractions, if that makes any sense. It's a nice distraction. It's a distraction away from life where you can just sit there and just admire God's
Yeah,
beauty.
there is no doubt about that. And every day. I take my camera with me everywhere I go. A lot of the photos I took in the last couple of years, I would take my son to school before he could drive. He can drive now, so I miss my time with him. But I would drop him off at school and then I would circle back home and I would take the long way. And I always have my camera with me. And so I would find that's where I got a lot of my photographs was the ride home after dropping my son off at school. And the mornings were great. It was crisp out or whatever. And it is a healing journey. Um, and the days that I didn't feel good, I still managed to get a photo. On the days I felt good, I managed to get a photo. And on the days that it was hard to find a photo, I still found a photo. So um, that's been kind of the fun thing about it is the chase, I guess. That's why a lot of people get into things is they find it and they find the process. It's not the destination, it's the process to get there. And right now it's just doing the photos every day and getting the photo online and posting a photo. And I've started to now kind of whatever's on my mind that the photo made me think about. That's kind of what I post a little message on there too. So yeah.
It's good for different perspectives too. And I'm just going to throw this out here. I think you will appreciate this. This was like years before my brain injury. We were on vacation and my wife had just went to the bathroom, and she comes back out and she sees me laying on the ground. And I'm just there, just like the weeds there were some grass and weeds. They were just kind of blowing in the wind. And she goes, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm taking a photo." And she's like, you got all this beauty in the air, and you're just on the ground taking a picture of the weeds." So I was like, "Just it's all right." Just when I showed her the photograph, and I'm gonna look for it and I'll send it to you later. But when I showed her the photograph, she's like, "Well, that's beautiful." And I said, "Well, it's all about perspective. From up here, we're looking down and all we just see are the weeds. But when we get real close and you see the beautiful sky in the background, and the blades of grass just kind of whisking in the wind, it painted a completely different picture." So I just kind of equated that to, life is bad sometimes, but when you get really close, there's a lot of beauty in it.
Oh yeah. That's the beautiful thing. And the beautiful thing about photography is well, anyway, for me, it creates a challenge because everybody can take a picture of a scene. But how do you make it to the next level? How do you make it so that people go, wow? So I'm always looking for that wow factor. And if that means laying on your belly on the ground to get a photo, that's what you got to do because nobody wants to see the photo from 5 feet up. That's what we all see. Yeah. So that's been the kind of the fun part. So I have a garden and with lots of flowers. In the summertime, I absolutely love flower photography. And if you look back on my Instagram from the last couple of summers, you'll see that because I have flower photos. But how do you make a flower photo different from all the rest? Because everybody knows a flower, everybody knows a cone flower, or everybody knows a daisy or a lily. But how do you show that in a new way that makes people go, wow? So it is perspective and it is trying to find a new angle. And that's the challenge that I kind of like. So that's what I just do for myself. How do you one up yourself and make you better at it?
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah, I know it is. Yeah. Yeah. And I just started, well, I've kind of been doing it for a while, but I just posted a photo of the Northern Lights and I think I'm getting pretty good at those now. And yeah, those are pretty fun. So, and I'm still looking for the Milky Way. I haven't gotten that. That's on my bucket list.
You should see, and this is not to even remotely compare to what you're capable of doing because you do such a great job. But the guy that I had on, and I forget what disorder he had, he went vegan, and that was completely like reversed everything for him. But he does photography as well, and he sells his pictures and portraits online. And his main focus is the stars and the galaxies. He lives in New York,
Yeah.
so he just goes to a lot of trails and I don't know what all. But yeah, I mean, it's just like I wish I could take photographs like that.
I know. I
I
know.
mean, the iPhones are only so good.
Well, there is that. iPhones are very good, and it's the eye that you can frame a photo, but if you want the details, you have to use a camera.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Or if you want to blow it up bigger and make it large,
Yeah, they
you need the
haven't
camera.
quite gotten that
Yeah.
great yet. They're
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah,
Don't get
it's
me wrong, they're very impressive, but yeah, they're not that great yet.
well, that's my uh, they're great
Yeah,
snapshots, but if you want fine art, you gotta have to use a camera.
you got to spend the
Yeah.
money, but yeah,
Yep. Yep. And I'm glad I had because I minored in photography in college. I have the background, and I'm glad I had that because I understand how to use a camera and the settings and what they mean. And I mean, I was taught back before it was digital, so we had dark rooms, and to get one photo took a long time. And if you missed the shot, you missed it. You had no idea. You couldn't go back. So it's a different perspective, but at least I got to understand the camera settings and why they are the way they are.
true.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Like the different exposure
Yep.
times
Yep.
and
And the f stop.
aperture, and I don't know what aperture is, but I
That's your
know
aperture.
know that word.
I don't want to get techie on you.
It'll go right over my head. So
That's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
so tell people how we can get this book in their possession.
Yeah, so this is it right here. You can actually there you can see it. You can actually go on Amazon and buy it. However, I suggest not going to Amazon because they do take a little chunk. So you can go to, yeah, I know. So you can get it for less at my webpage, which is lisabethcarey.com. So that's spelled well, it's right here. Lisa Beth. So LISABETH Carey, CAREY.com. And I have it for sale there, and Inner Peace Press will ship it out to whoever. If anyone is local in my area, which is basically like Northwest Wisconsin, we do free shipping because I deliver it. So you get, and then you can probably get me to sign it too because I deliver it. So, but if anyone's local, but yeah, you can go to lisabethcarey.com.
We'll also be linking that in the description below. So if you want to get a copy of the book,
Okay.
I suggest that you click on the link and get it and you can get it today. It's a really great book. I just spent so much time going back and forth at the pictures. I know there's a lot of words in there too, but I was just distracted
There's
by
a
the
condensed
pictures.
well, and that's kind of the point. I put the beginning is a couple pages of my condensed version of my story and sort of my thoughts and a little inspiration just to give that out because that was important. And then for the most part, it's a coffee table photography book. And yeah, so if you look at it, it's like my eagles. What else? There's another. Oh, there's my lilies, my bee, and the lilies. So it's like, yeah, it's just a coffee table book that anybody can pick up and take a look at, be inspired by, read a little bit in the front, just to learn a little bit about me. And
Your guests come over and they'll see that book, they'll
yeah,
start flipping through it. And for people that love photography, they're just going to look at the pictures and be inspired to go take
yeah,
something similar.
I would love that. Yeah, and if anybody has any questions on anything and what how I got a photo or what I did, there's a few photos that have some fun stories attached to them. Just me after the photo and what I had to do to get it. And I do just take my photo with me. I don't hike out into the middle of nowhere. I'm usually in my truck. Um, and I like my truck because it sits up higher, so I've got a good view. And I usually just do that. Or if it's a little bit of a walk, I'll do that. The MS kind of prevents me from going on huge walks because my legs end up going numb. That's not a good thing. Or the heat. So I have the air conditioner going when I'm sitting there. But yeah, I just carry my camera with me everywhere I go. When I see a photo opportunity, I do a U-turn and I go back. And because I've learned over time that if you miss the scene or the opportunity and you go back later, it's not going to be
Right.
there. So when you see something, go back and get it right then.
I
And
agree
that's what I do.
because you're going to always, that'll always be the one that
Yeah.
you missed.
Yep. And whenever you
Yeah,
see like an eagle or an osprey sitting on a branch, if you decide to go back like even 10 minutes later, they're gone.
absolutely.
Yeah. So every time.
Yeah, that's the one that will always, however you choose, you're like,
So
man,
it's about being
I
at
could
the
have
right
had
place.
that great photo and I missed it.
Oh yeah, there's so many. When I didn't have my camera, now I carry my camera everywhere. But when I didn't have my camera, a couple of times I was like, oh man, that would have been so good. So I've learned to capture the moment. You really have to carry your camera with you everywhere. And that's what I do. So, and I take the long way home. I don't take the quickest way home. So,
That's not a bad idea.
no, and I never I unless I'm in a hurry, I never take the fastest way. I usually meander my way home just to find something.
That you'll find those moments when you're not looking for them or just by chance. So yeah, it's great that you give yourself extra
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's always when you least expects it because it's like a shadow that hits just right or something. The lighting is a big deal. Yeah. Yeah.
We were at dinner a couple of nights ago, and my wife goes, "You're taking a picture of my glass?" And I'm like, the way that the light was bouncing off the ice cubes and off of her glass, and you could just see the moisture. And I don't know, I'm not doing it justice, but it's just like
I know
I wanted that photo,
it's fun. It's
and I'll never
fun.
do anything with it.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Yeah, I love
yeah,
it. I love it.
it was a really
Yeah.
cool photo.
That's what it's all about.
So yeah, so there's your next your next great picture of an ice cube.
I know I've done there was it makes me think of when I was at the farmers market and there was a whole row of those little bear honey jars, but they're shaped in the bear and they were all lined up and the sun was shining through them and they lit up like they were neon yellow and I took a photo.
I would have done the same thing.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
What words of advice do you have to encourage our audience?
I would say the biggest thing that I've learned over my time dealing with MS and then having a bout with cancer is don't ever take anything for granted, and live in the moment. Don't worry about tomorrow. You can plan all you want, but you need to live for today. And it's important to plan. My husband's a planner. I'm thankful for that because I can live in the moment more. But uh, and to not sweat the small stuff. And also, the thing I always tell my kids is do the little things every day. Just take care of the little things because over time you're going to realize that all the little things add up to the big things. And that's sort of like my photo a day. I post a photo a day. And over time, when I look back at my photos, I realize, oh, there's some good ones in there. And that's how the book kind of evolved. And then telling my story. And so that would be what I would have to say. Yeah.
Yeah, so if they
So,
want to follow you on Instagram, what is your handle?
yep, it's lisa.c.nature.photography.
Okay, okay.
I can send that to you
Yeah, send that to
if
me.
you
I
want.
will link that also in the bottom
Yeah,
as
if you want to
well.
link that, it's lisa.c. I was trying to go for Lisa C photography, but that was taken. So I threw in the nature. So it's
A
lisa.c.nature.photography.
lot of dots.
And you'll find me there, and I still post a photo a day, and I don't plan on stopping.
Yeah, don't ever stop. That's one thing
No.
I found too, that whenever you're starting something and then you stop it, you'll think, well, no one cares. And then all of a sudden you stop, posting and you get five people going,
Where
why'd
are
you
you? Are
stop?
you okay? What's going on?
Well, no one was commenting. I didn't think, well, we look forward to that.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting though. It's the whole algorithm thing because 2 or 3 years ago, they must have changed their algorithm because my like, and a lot of photographers have commented that the number of their likes just dropped, plummeted. So I was getting 100 likes probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and now I get like 30 to 50. So I don't know what went on, but somehow they changed their algorithm. So I just keep plugging along. It's okay.
Well, yeah, well, I used to get really caught up with the likes and the people sharing all that, but they're not. It finally dawned on me one day, you know, there's probably more people liking it than I realize. But even if
Yeah.
I'm just inspiring one person or changing one person's life, that's more important to me than getting a billion likes. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're
Yeah.
all here to do, is to help each other and to make this world a better
Yeah.
place.
Yep.
So
That's all it
we may
is.
not know it now, but
Yep.
we are making changes.
Yep. And making someone smile. That's a good thing.
It's been such an honor and a pleasure to have you on the program today, and we'll be posting this, and if anyone else wants to get in touch with her, please look at the comments below and I'll have a link. So all you have to do is just click on it and it'll take you right to her pages. So until next time, guys, this has been Life Rewired.
Not the end, just re-inspired. This is me, my life rewired.